Dark January days in Moscow. The white season weighs heavily on monuments and landmarks. A grand Orthodox church receives a constant pilgrimage of snowflakes and people in Red Square. A more modest one, perched in a neighborhood, lifts its onion domes and minarets to the wintry sky. A blizzard blankets the Kremlin, and there's a militaristic moment outside the walls of the citadel. More monuments serve as reminders of past grandeur, the constant snow providing both backdrop and foreground. And then there's the marvelous Moscow Metro. Its busy stations are like portals to enchantment, as well as to your next destination. While surface Moscow digs out, even from 4 stories up, a city in motion clips along beneath the city at its usual pace. Moscow has the deepest subway lines on Earth, some of them 300 feet below ground. A warm, dry, spacious, and well-lit cathedral awaits the harried commuter. 9 million people ride the metro every day of the work week. The high vaulted ceilings and wide platforms can resemble in one glance a Greek temple or a theater lobby, an Egyptian tomb, or the entryway of a 5-star hotel. On average, each day, 10,000 trains run on the 12 different lines. More than anything, the metro is a pipeline for the population, a palace for the proletariat. In 1935, after a decade of war, famine, and forced modernization, the metro was born. It was an elaborately decorated chariot for ferrying businessmen and women, day laborers, and ordinary people to their jobs and then back home again. During World War II, the deepest stations doubled as bomb shelters. Today, people weave back and forth in a spontaneous choreography, all of it backed by the shriek of steel wheels and the hydraulic huff and chuff of doors sliding open and closed. Precision instruments of the state, like a subway system, were politically useful in their own way, and the metro became a crucible of revolution and Soviet-era art. It is a testimony in concrete steel and marble to the power of socialism. Images of Lenin are ubiquitous. There is no public representation of Stalin anywhere in Moscow, but those of Lenin are routine and invariably portray his strong visage, his unrelenting gaze. You exit the trains and find yourself in lavishly appointed halls, the curved ceilings afire with chandelier light. Some stations resemble brilliant wedding cakes. The trains rush into these well-lit confections as if bringing guests to a Baroque tea party. The metro is a living gallery of murals and mosaics, frescoes and friezes, gold leaf, and 14 different types of marble. Nearly 3 billion people visit it each year. These scenes of Ukrainian agriculture are made of different colors of inlaid marble quarried in the Urals. Complex floor-to-ceiling mosaics decorate either end of the Novoslobodskaya station. This mosaic is called Peace Throughout the World. Each of the main pylons in the Novoslobodskaya station is inset with a stained glass window illuminated from within. Ornate brass cames hold the glass pieces in place. Here's the hammer, and there's the sickle, both brought together in brass, and also in a chandelier motif. In this archway, we find a reminder of the agricultural basis for this Soviet symbol. And then there's more inlaid stone, pink rhodonite, limestone from Georgia, green and red marble, creating a detailed pattern of vines and vegetation. More than life-size statuary celebrate motivational themes or commemorate the literary. Here's a bust of the poet Pushkin. Some of the tracks have barrel-vaulted ceilings arching above the trains, intricately textured panels decorated with Italian plaster. Embossed medallions underscore valorous moments of the Great Patriotic War. Transit past the artworks is brisk as trains rush in and people file in or away. It is distinctly weird to view all the art while a non-stop soundtrack of trains departing and arriving plays. A fair amount of art is installed in the ceiling, so you walk along looking up, not at what's in front of you. Soviet skies is the theme in the Mayakovsky station. It is based on work by the futurist poet Vladimir Mayakovsky. 34 different oval ceiling niches have tile mosaics, and everything you see is suspended against the sky. The day I shot these scenes, snowpocalypse was pelting the city, but 300 feet below ground, the floors were spotlessly clean, dry, and gleaming. A canine commuter was waiting for a train, too. Sometimes when I'm in Moscow, I don't care about destinations. I find myself riding the metro for hours. The car rolls and sways, bodies bump. It's sort of an escape. The names of the stations themselves are beautifully rendered in bronze lettering on glazed tile or on marble. It would be impossible ever to get lost while riding the metro because the logic won't allow it. Everything is connected to something that makes sense. The efficiency of this system is weirdly comforting. Even if you've strayed off course and are not sure whether you're coming or going, this is an intensely goal-oriented experience that is ultimately conquerable. The metro mirrors the thought process that went into its formation. It is rational to its core. When I'm standing on the platform waiting for a train, I imagine the well-articulated earthen space above the tracks, all the way up to street level, like a three-dimensional chessboard above me. Tunnels laid out at various depths, trains crisscrossing through them, all of the lines stacked and orderly. From 5 a.m. until midnight, this does not stop. And then, all at once, silence. No rumbles, no screeching, no grinding of metal. The machines stand mute and motionless on their tracks. The workers who will in a few hours ride the machines slumber too. Maybe they are dreaming of a mythic metro, like an engine beneath the city, of whose inner workings they are a part. The practicality is so pleasing, you almost don't want to leave. But when you do, you make the steep ascent back to street level and find waiting for you a snow-dusted monument to the poet Mayakovsky. And there are the familiar treasures of a grand Russian city. Up above, Moscow exhibits a timeless, durable quality. Down below, there's a mesmerizing thrill. Above, it's dangerous and riveting. Below, it's hypnotic, a fanciful puzzle in motion.